Welcome back, everybody, to our show. We watched this week one of my personal favorite comedies, Old School, the broiest of bro comedies. Really can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. So, who's going to take it away first?
I'll go first because I know Eric has
you go
strong
first.
feelings. So I'll give you a quick one here. So personally, I think there are parts of this movie that I find hilarious, that I've always found hilarious. I will always find them hilarious. But in the guise of this show, this is not a chick flick in any way. And in fact, it kind of makes women look like jerks. And it makes marriage look terrible. It makes all women look like nagging witches. So, I mean, I that part I don't really like, and I had to kind of put that in my side, but I cringe every time he gets shot with that tranquilizer. And every time...
That is one of the funniest scenes in movie history.
Oh my gosh, it makes me laugh so hard. And every time they're doing, like, he does the rhythmic gymnastics at the end, I just...
with the thing?
The commitment of Will Ferrell in this movie.
This was Will Ferrell's star-making performance.
Yes,
this is what brought him into... So.
I thought it was Elf, because that's when I fell in love with him. Anybody that can eat spaghetti with maple syrup on it is my kind of guy.
I think
he did Elf after this.
Yeah, I think that like brought him into like a wider audience, but this movie really solidified. They took him from SNL to movie star, and I don't know. Yeah. So okay, as personally love it, chick flick. No, so a pie chart I'm gonna have trouble with, but I'm gonna hand it over to Eric because I know he's gonna have funnier things about.
Well, okay, let me just start by telling you, okay, I'm a huge Luke Wilson fan. I mean, ever since he co-starred in probably the best movie of our entire generation, Legally Blonde, I've always, loved him. And I, like, seriously, I have Elf pajama bottoms because that's how much I love Will Ferrell, whatever. Okay, so... I went into this, like, I swear, and also, my son told me, no, Dad, you saw this once before and you really liked it or whatever, and I thought, okay, well, I didn't remember, because truthfully, when we started this, I thought I was going to see, it was School of Rock. I don't know why I messed up or whatever. I know, right? So, okay.
Very different.
I go into this with an open mind, and sorry, but literally within 5 minutes, when Luke Wilson gets into the cab, and he says to the cab driver, like, what should I do with this? And the cab driver says, stop being such a faggot and just do it. I thought, okay, and I immediately looked up to see what year this was because and 2003, guys. I mean, anything that's post Will and Grace, there's no excuse for this kind of stuff. So that was so now I'm already kind of like a little in a pissy mood, to be honest with you. And I didn't do any edibles or alcohol after my Die Hard fiasco there or whatever. But okay, so do you realize that this is like really? It's aimed at this whole movie was like a 14-year-old boy's wet dream. I mean, let's be honest. It is, okay?
Yes.
So in that vein, you got to figure, so that's the audience that they were targeting, right? Okay, so do you realize that in the first 45 minutes, we were dealing with infidelity? Luke Wilson had underage sex. I mean, he didn't know it, but he had sex with a high school girl, for Christ's sake. Okay. Will Ferrell is nude, which is called public intoxication, indecent exposure, running down the streets or whatever, okay. And of course, then they're binge drinking with these, that was the only thing that was a little homoerotic, that one where it's the tube and it's going in his mouth, whatever.
Yeah,
and
beer funnel, yeah.
Not to mention, there's 4 gazillion people at the house, which is a huge fire hazard. And then, when they introduce that Jeremy Piven character or whatever, they think it's funny that they bullied him in high school. It's like, didn't we put you in the dumpster or whatever? And this is like...
Jeez.
Yeah, I know. And not that he doesn't deserve it, because I've never been a Jeremy Piven fan. I think he's so full of himself, so whatever. So I kind of just, wasn't in such a good mood after that. And I just, sorry, but, I just felt like, at the end of the day, watching all these, these grown men, like live out their fantasy of like going back to college, I get it. We really do secretly want to do that. I mean, but I guess it just, like I said, I started off, trying to be, good about it. And then it started to rub me the wrong way. So I didn't, obviously there's absolutely nothing gay about it, but that's okay because it doesn't have to be gay, it doesn't have to be chick. It has to be, well, we're just giving our point of views from who we are as people or whatever. And maybe I'm getting too old. That's what I thought when I was done. I thought maybe I should have gotten stoned. Maybe I should have. Who the fuck are you?
No, you're bringing up very, very valid points. There were parts of this where I thought this movie would never get made now. Like if Todd Phillips walked in with this script now, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like
it's really amazing how far we've come in 17 years because that's what I thought, like, oh my God, this just hit every taboo so quickly or whatever. But still the fact that I'm getting so old, I've become Mr. Moral Compass. It's like, anyways, so that's my spiel. I know.
So yes, I will agree that a lot of the jokes in there do not travel well to this time. Okay. And when it first came out, you have to understand when that movie came out, I was in college. And this was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm going to these parties, man. Good thing I'm not an old man, And the irony is watching it now, I'm the same age as Will Ferrell was when he was that character in the movie.
Right.
Think about I didn't think about that.
They all were. I Googled. They were all in their 30s at that point.
They were supposed to be 30. I think Luke Wilson says something like, I just turned 30 or something like that.
Yeah. They're in their mid 30s, which is what, right? So now I am looking through it as in a different lens. I'm not looking through this movie, which was my generation's Animal House, which
I loved.
Right? I'm not looking at through the Stephen in college doing keg stands, beer funnels, and putting acid up my butthole. I'm watching it.
You did that?
Not acid, but that's another podcast.
A gerbil? Are we going to go with a gerbil? Seriously? What are we, Richard Gere?
No. If you put drugs up your butthole, they go in quicker.
Okay? Right. Yeah.
So, I was watching it now as a married man, trying to start a family and all that. And it was like, oh man, these guys, marriage ain't that bad. I actually like fun. I like my wife, like I have a good time with my wife. Man, you just married like some assholes, It's interesting to watch it now and remember how I saw it 17 years ago and watching it as a man in his, mid 30s.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Still it's a complete bro comedy. It's the broiest of broy comedies.
Yeah. I guess it just didn't hold up well, All right, so pie chart.
So is it pie chart?
Pie chart.
Pie chart.
I think you have to take it all, Steve. I think you do.
I will take it. Because again,
take it.
Exactly, just like the movie.
Yeah.
It's interesting because even though I might not agree and feel as if some of the jokes now have not aged well, the premise and what it is still as broy as it comes, and I have to stand behind my bro show. I will take a majority of that pie chart.
All right. Well,
that was a good. That was easy. I would say an easy one. But.
And we watched it, so it goes to show how much we love each other. The shit we're putting each other through. God, it was just.
Oh come on! You didn't. You didn't even laugh at all when he had the kid cover his ears, and he's like, "You can say anything if you have him cover his ears." Cock balls.
I did.
That's funny.
Look, I still love them all. I did not walk away disliking anybody. There's, they're still hilarious. It was just a surprise to me. That's all. And you're right. It's probably a lot to do with the looking at it at this stage of as opposed to back then or whatever. But so I still love them all. And I'm not going to throw up my elf pajamas for anybody. So all right. Aww. So what are we doing next?
And I'm sure even if you talk to the writer and director, they'd say the same thing. I'm sure if you talk to any of those actors, they'd say, some of those jokes, they're not as but still, some of the funniest moments in film history, the Trank Dart scene, still one of my top 10 favorite.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I laughed at that. I actually, that's when I woke up, so that's how I remember.
Perfect.
Well, we'll see if, I think it's a different mood change, but we'll see if next week we find anything unique in Dirty Dancing.
Ooh, Dirty Dancing.
Something holds up.
Okay.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. All right. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Bye.
Ah.